Hi, I'm Rosie Acosta. I'm a meditation teacher, speaker, and author of You Are Radically Loved, a healing journey to self-love. Look, I grew up in East Los Angeles during the '92 LA riots, and it set me on a troubled path. I didn't grow up with mentors in my life, so I turned to reading as many books as I possibly could to learn about the purpose of life. In my journey, I found that having these conversations gave me life, and I decided I wanted to create a place where I could share these conversations with my community. So come have a sit with me as we learn about, well, everything. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Radically Loved podcast. I am joined by two very special guests, Dana and Shayna. Welcome. Here we are. DayLuna was created by both Shayna and Dana as a way to share their own knowledge of human design to a wider audience. And they are here just being their amazing selves. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you more and to learning more about human design. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here. And we just met a few minutes ago, but we love your energy. We love looking at your human design chart. So we just have so much that we want to tell you already.
Okay, no, this is very exciting. First and foremost, I feel that people that really go into this work have to have a passion and a drive for learning about human connection. And I can already tell that both Shayna and Dana have this. And I'm really excited to just give us a little bit of context about how you both fell into this and what your favorite part about human design is.
Yeah, so Shayna and I have been best friends for over a decade. We met in college. And after we graduated college, we both went out into the world and kind of like followed the standard formula of how to find success, like found ourselves in corporate jobs. And once we moved into our Saturn Return, which is a transit that everyone experiences when they're about 27 years old,
Yes.
Really the shit hit the fan
apart
at that moment. Yes, exactly. We both were feeling like I did everything right. I followed all of the rules and I'm exhausted. I don't feel like myself. I feel like I'm trying to play some role and I feel like who I am at work is not who I really am at all. I don't really feel like I'm appreciated or helping people. And it just was this kind of like great crumbling that we both experienced at the same time. And that really led us as best friends down this spiritual journey, learning about meditation, learning about yoga, learning about breath work and astrology. And in that exploration, we discovered human design. And we discovered that Shayna and I are both the same energy type, which is a more rare energy type. Only like less than 20% of the population have this energy type that we do, which is called a projector. And once we discovered that we have the same exact design, it was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Everything clicked, not only of why we had such similar experiences and why we had always felt like we saw the world in the same way, but also of why we weren't able to keep up, why we felt completely burnt out, completely exhausted. So the cool thing about human design, some people call it the new astrology, but really it's this modality that is a synthesis of Western astrology, the I Ching, the Hindu Brahmin chakra system, and the Kabbalah tree of life. So it's this kind of synthesis system that's using all of these different ancient wisdoms from all over the world and using modern science, genetics and quantum mechanics, and really looking at your energy and the way your energy works in this very holistic view. So human design really tells you this is how your unique energy is designed. And here is the owner's manual of how to operate that energy so that you're actually in alignment with who you really are instead of pretending to be someone else, trying to fit in and trying to operate like the rest of the world. So it has this really practical side where you can literally start experimenting with living authentically. And it gives you this very, very detailed blueprint of what authenticity is for you, what alignment is for you, what your life purpose is, what your gifts are. So we both started experimenting with that. And literally within 1 month, every single thing in our life changed. It just became so clear, like we're quitting this job, we're following our dreams, this is what we're doing. And we really never looked back.
Wow. That's incredible. Shayna, was this your exact experience? Did you guys stay together this entire time?
Yeah. So Dana and I have been best friends for 14 years. And really, the cool thing about human design is that it's so practical. and it's so specific. And it's this science of how we're all different, how we're all extremely unique. So, I feel like we go through life asking these questions of like, who am I? And what am I here to do? And what's my purpose? And what does this all mean? Right. And there's so many different modalities and things that bring a lot of meaning to life. Right. But human design was this one that really clicked in for us, of just that feeling of, how have I never heard of this before? How was I not taught this in elementary school? Because everything in your chart just resonates so much as truth and something that you felt. It validates the things that you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. And then it gives you tools and tells you, this is how you specifically make decisions. This is why you're feeling confused, or why you're feeling lost, or why you're feeling resistance, or like this is difficult. And it gives you this owner's manual, if you will, of how to drive your car. If you think of your energetic body as a vehicle, a lot of us are just kind of going down the road on autopilot, or even blind, and we don't even know if our car is electric or diesel, or what kind of fuel we need.
Yeah.
So this gives you this owner's manual. So for me, the experience of discovering my design, it just unlocked this incredible permission to just try it. And okay, the next decision that I have, let me make it using these steps and see how it feels. And just seeing how radically my life changed. And honestly, it's brought this insane depth of self-acceptance and self-love, because it teaches you how to know who you are and accept who you are and love that you're different from the people around you. And that then teaches you to accept and know and love all of the people around you for their unique thing. It's no longer saying, I should be like you and you should be like me. It's really understanding, no, this is why I am. And you do love yourself so much deeper. So I just feel freaking in love with myself. I feel in love with this system. And that sounds too good to be true, right? But it truly is experimenting with it and proving to yourself how powerful this system really is.
Well, so do you have to, I'm going to use astrology because it's the only thing that I can kind of relate it to. And I'm curious to learn more about the different types of, is it on a number system? Is it on how is it determined? That's the first question. And the second question is it like astrology in the sense of, I find relationships that are compatible with me, or or human design types that are compatible with me in order to forge partnerships or romantic relationships? I'd really love to know a little bit about that too.
Yeah, so those are both great questions. So the way that your chart is derived is based off of your birth information. So similar to astrology and pulling up your natal chart, it's going off of your birth date, your birth time, your birth location. And that's because in human design, it pulls together the information that's kind of imprinted on you. And it gets very scientific with neutrinos and how they're passing through these large masses, our planets and stars around us, and the information that's then imprinted on you, not only the day you're born, but 88 days before you're born as well, when your soul is, your consciousness is formed in the womb. So it's very technical. It pulls together this information based off of your birth data. And then, no, it does not tell you who you are compatible with. And we get that a lot, actually. What it tells you is how to make decisions for yourself and become your own authority, and how to know when something is energetically in alignment for you or not. So you might come across someone who has a completely different design than you, and your body, your unique intelligence system, is telling you, hell yes, this person's, I want this person, or hell no, I don't, or I don't really feel anything. And that's when our minds tend to kick in gear, and we're like, well, they have a really good job and they live close to me and I really like their friends and blah, blah, blah. But human design is really teaching you how to notice when you're making a decision from your mind, comparison, judgment, anxiety, versus your body's unique intelligence system of, this is right for me energetically or it's not. So you can date or partner with or create with anyone. It's knowing, is this something that I'm conditioned to think that I want? Or is this something that's coming truly from my own intuition, my own inner wisdom?
Yes.
So, yeah, it's really powerful. But when we get into what is it comprised of, like, is it a number system or not? This is where human design really categorizes, like, it starts really broad and then it gets really specific. So we start with the energy types, and there's 5 different energy types, and each human is one of the types. So that's what Dana was saying, where we both found out that we're projectors, and you, Rosie, are a generator, which we love. And the 5 types are manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. And so just from your type alone, it's going to tell you a broad understanding of how your energy works. Are you meant to feel more cozy and inviting and safe? Are you meant to feel more intriguing and fascinating and guiding, or more authoritative and initiating, right? So it gets into these broad categories, and then it goes down to how you make decisions as an individual and how you experience your own personality, how other people are experiencing your personality, and what your specific gifts are and life purpose is.
I'm trying to process this all. I would love if you gave us a little. So you are both, but you said so what are you both?
So we're both 2-4 projectors. So our profile is 2-4, which this is getting into it. But we are both projectors.
Thanks to Insight Tracker, I've been able to finally get a handle on what's been going on with my metabolism. It's been a long health journey for me the last couple of years, and for me, information is everything. With Insight Tracker, you'll get personalized information for what is going to serve your health the most, whether it's an eating plan, whether it's how to supplement yourself. Insight Tracker has it all. You can even see how you're aging from the inside out. And for a limited time, for all of our Radically Loved listeners, you can get 20% off the entire Insight Tracker store. Just go to insighttracker.com/loved. That's insighttracker.com/loved to get 20% off the entire Insight Tracker store. insighttracker.com/loved. Insight Tracker will give you the personalized plan to improve your metabolism, reduce stress, improve your sleep, and optimize your health for the long haul. So you're both projectors. So what are some is it a characteristic thing? A personality thing?
So really, your energy type is describing your energetic aura.
Okay.
The way that your aura is designed. So this is how people feel you on an energetic level. And human design is really teaching us that we are not just a physical body. We are mostly energy.
Yes.
And our energy extends past our physical body and communicates in a non-verbal way, but a very powerful way with the people around us. So we have all experienced the feeling of when someone walks into the room, we feel their energy before they even open their mouth. So the 5 different aura types are really telling you this is how your presence is felt. And because of that, here's how you can optimize the way that you're using that energy so that there's less resistance and more kind of ease and harmony in the way that people are really feeling you. So like kind of starting off with manifestors, which is one of the more rare types. Less than 10% of people are manifestors. Manifestors have a powerful aura, like think king and queen energy. When they walk into a room, every single person in the room sits up straight because their presence is just so impactful. And they have this aura that is designed to help them inspire people, impact people, be a catalyst of change. Manifestors are really here to initiate people. And so without them doing anything, when they walk into a room, people notice them and are very impacted by anything that they say and anything that they do. So as a manifestor, the strategy that human design offers them is to open up and inform people on how they're feeling internally. And this creates more ease and flow because as a manifestor, they can really people can really want to control them because they feel that they're so powerful. So a lot of manifestors, a huge theme in their life is either control or freedom. And obviously they're designed for freedom, but they find people really trying to control them. So the more that they tell people how they feeling, what they're thinking about, the more people are okay with what they're doing and impacted in a positive way by what they're doing. And that manifestor can be someone who sparks a lot of change in people's lives. So manifestors are rare, but chances are if you have a friend who's a manifestor, one thing they said just initiated the shit out of you. Like it completely started a new business within you, something like that.
I love this. Give us an example of a manifestor.
Yeah. So with people that are celebrity manifestors, like Adele is a manifestor,
Yes.
Jennifer Lawrence is a manifestor. And it's interesting because as a manifestor, their signature theme when they are in alignment, even though they have this powerful king, queen kind of energy, their internal signature theme when they're in alignment is peace. So manifestors are actually very chill people. They feel internally chill. They just want to do their thing. They don't want to rock the boat, but they have this powerful aura that's like magnifying every single thing they say and making this huge impact in the world. So, then it kind of moves us to the next type, which is what you are, which is one of the more common types. Over 30% of the population are generators. And generators, as we were mentioning, have this aura that is open and enveloping. So when you walk into a room, literally it feels like you're putting your open arms around someone and giving them a hug. So generators feel so good to be around. They feel so warm and inviting and welcoming. And also, generators are people who have a lot of creative life force energy. They are the keepers of creative life force energy. So generators are here to do what they love, create what they love, build what they love, and live in this experience of like being lit up by how they're using their energy each day. And when they do that, that energy of like joy and abundance and like all of these kind of good vibes spills out of their aura and feeds the people around them. But because generators are so open and cozy and warm and capable of really doing things and building things, there can be so much conditioning for generators to sacrifice what they want in order to help others. So generators are the ones that can find themselves sacrificing their dreams to help their family, doing a job that they hate for way too long because they really feel responsible for helping the people around them. And it's a huge, powerful shift when generators realize, I'm here to do what I love. And that's actually the way that I feed the people around me the most energetically. So does that resonate with you being a generator?
Yes. I'm like, I want you both to help me fix all of my problems. Like, why do I do this? But anyway, no, let's continue. But this is very fascinating. What's like a famous person example of a generator?
Oprah.
I was going to say our favorite generator is Oprah because she has, and you actually have a lot of similarities in our opinion to Oprah. You have some of the qualities that we call Oprah energy, which is leading your community and really being a force for change and values and integrity in your community and being this like warm, caring, loving person, but who is powerful and who steps into a leadership position in life. So you have, that's kind of getting from deeper places in your chart, but we like love your energy so much. And we want to talk about your chart a little bit if you're curious.
Yeah, but you let's continue to give us the rundown and definitely I'm sure everybody that's listening here wants to hear about it. No, they don't. I'm like, literally, I'm just totally being selfish right now. I'm like, let's tell me more.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to say about generators, your strategy, it's so important for you to use your energy doing what you want to do. But the way that you find what you want to do is by listening to your body, not your mind. So for generators, more than any other type, your body is like, I'm super excited about this like fashion project or like this fashion line I want to start. And your mind is questioning it every moment. Your mind is like, does that make sense? And that's not what I went to school for. And will I make enough money? But your body is so energized and lit up and excited by that thing. So your body as a generator is your sacred compass. When your body responds to something with enthusiasm, energy, excitement, that is how you know that that thing is aligned for you versus your body responding with like kind of like a blah energy, blase, and your mind is like talking yourself into it. That is something that's going to be out of alignment for you. So the next type is actually a hybrid of the first two types, a manifesting generator. So these two types have the most energy out of any of the types. They are like the Energizer bunnies. They have a million passions, a million things going on at once. They're super talented, they're super capable, and they're really inspiring and impactful. So literally a hybrid of the manifestor type and the generator type, but in the end, they really still are a generator. So it's so important that they're doing what they love and not sacrificing their capabilities to help other people because they should, in quotes.
Yes.
And they really need to kind of slow down and listen to their body so that they can really feel what is aligned for them to work on or build or create and what is not. So manifesting generators are the ones that have like 3 careers going at once. They might have 3 different businesses and 3 different spaces, and they're doing all these different things. Like Beyonce is a manifesting generator, and she's doing these film projects, and she's a mom, and she's starting this fashion line, and she's doing another album and a second album with a different band. And manifesting generators can have this conditioning that they need to rein it in and pick one thing and stick to it forever. But that is wrong for them. It really stifles their energy. They're designed to be expansive and have a lot of different interests at once and have a lot of variety and freedom in their life. Otherwise, they're really going to feel out of alignment. And then the next type that we want to talk about is projectors. So that's what Shayna and I are, one of the more rare ones at less than 20%. And projectors are people who are really here to guide. They do not create the same amount of energy as a generator or manifesting generator. So projectors are really not here to work or do or build in the same way that other types are. They are really here to see, to share their insight, to make things more efficient, to see into people and to guide people towards their highest path, their most authentic path, and also the most efficient way that they can do things. So projectors literally have an inconsistent amount of energy, and they're actually what we call non-energy beings. And a lot of projectors, since they are so efficient, they find themselves in these high-powered jobs where they are just kicking ass and taking names and getting everything done, just like a manifesting generator and just like Shayna and I. And then after 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, they just completely crash and their whole body goes into burnout and adrenal fatigue. And for projectors, they're really only designed to work about 2 to 4 hours a day of expending energy. And the rest of the stuff they do needs to be something that kind of fascinates them, and it's more creative, and they can do it maybe in bed in their pajamas, not like seeing,
Love this.
Yeah. So for projectors, it can really be a bittersweet thing to find out that you are non-energy beings. At first, it can seem like, oh no, I kind of got the shit end of the stick. But really, you're designed to be successful as a projector and only work those 2 to 4 hours. So it's all about using your energy efficiently, like working smarter, not harder, is the main thing for projectors. And you're here to see into people and to guide people and to give people really solid advice about how they can be their best self or their most authentic self. But your strategy is to wait for the invitation before you give that advice, because projectors are the friend that can see, when one of their friends is like dating someone and it's a horrible situation and they insert their opinion, the friend is just so repelled. Like it's the energy of like, nobody asked you. And also like, you can't feed a closed mouth. So projectors more than any other type, when they do,
Wait,
when they
did
go
you just
against,
say you can't feed a closed mouth?
Yes.
Let's take a pause on this and really let that sink, because that is, as Oprah would say, a tweetable moment.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. That was just a little wisdom bomb there. You just dropped, Dana. Like, here you go.
Yeah. And this has been a huge spiritual practice, in the life of a projector for Shayna and I. When you see your friends and family members struggling, or you see your boss doing something that's inefficient, and you genuinely see what they can do to make it better, and you come from a good place, you want to help them. But if their mouth is closed and you're shoving food in their mouth, it is literally repelling. So as a projector, starting to focus more on yourself and every wisdom that you see from observing the world, integrate that into your own life. You don't need to tell other people what to do. It's really about letting people come to you when they're ready, when they recognize you, when they see you, when they want your advice, when they're ready for it. And then your advice can be so beautiful and so helpful and received with such gratitude. So the last type is reflectors, which are really rare. 1% of the population are reflectors. And reflectors are people who have a very, very empathetic and sensitive aura. They are literally taking in, like a sponge, all of the energy around them. So they kind of chameleon into the environment that they're around or the people they're around and experience other people's energy in their own body. So reflectors are really here. They have this like sacred purpose to be this gauge of how are we doing? Are we healthy? Are we authentic? Are we well? Or are we off? And they will see in their body a reflection of the overall well-being of their environment. So reflectors are kind of designed to be the most sensitive, but also the most wise. And we are all really here to look at these reflectors and say, like, how are we doing overall? What do we need to change? And if a reflector is not doing well, like their health is not well, something like that, they know that it's because they've been in an environment that's not well.
I'm just so like you've just opened an entire door that I am going to go and have this entire experience learning about all of this. I think it's so fascinating because to be able to understand, I mean, there's nothing more powerful than creating an intimate relationship with yourself. And when you can fully understand the parts of you that you maybe didn't have an explanation for, and then you find out, oh, it's because I'm this, because I'm a projector or because I'm a generator. I think it really helps, right? Create a deeper understanding to our decisions and so on.
Yes, absolutely. It's so powerful. And honestly, we could talk about everything that Dana just talked about. Just one thing about generators with responding and listening to your body, or with projectors and waiting for the invitation, we could talk about it forever. Like there's so many nuances and tips and tricks and things that you can really apply and start seeing massive change in your life. So this is really just scratching the surface.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm like a teacher. I'm like, teacher, I have a question. A lot of people dream of having their own business, but by having their own business, that also means running their own business. If you're living your entrepreneurial dream, but struggling with tedious administrative tasks, whether it be HR, payroll, or employee benefits, let Gusto help. Gusto offers all-in-one payroll and HR for growing businesses, from full-service payroll benefits to team management tools and more. Gusto makes it easy to support your hardworking team in one intuitive platform. Gusto is loved by both businesses and employees. For businesses, having everything in one place is a game changer. No more jumping from application to application. With Gusto, most customers are able to run payroll in 10 minutes or less, and Gusto helps with the hard stuff too. Filing payroll, taxes, compliance, new state tax registration, international contractor payments in 90 countries and counting. For me, it's the easiest thing to use, and it helps us keep our radically loved team on track. Join the more than 200,000 new and growing businesses that are using Gusto to build a great workplace for their employees. Right now, Gusto is offering our listeners 3 months free at gusto.com/loved. Get easy payroll benefits, HR, and a happier team. Just visit gusto.com/loved for your first 3 months free. That's gusto.com/loved. When is the best time to inquire about your own human design? Is it when you're going through a life change? Is it when you're wanting to make a decision? Is it like astrology in the sense of it depends what the planets are doing? You're going to get affected more during this time. Like when do you rely on the human design, your own human design, to guide you, I guess?
Yeah. So, living your design is a daily practice. It's for you, for example, it's understanding that your energy is inclusive and it's comfortable, but it's also inspiring and full of integrity and values. And, you're really good at connecting people, and you are really good at giving advice because you're a 6-2 generator and because of the projected channels that you have. So you are here to be a guide. So it's understanding, okay, this is my energy. This is how I'm being received. And in my day-to-day life, I need to start checking in with my body more. Like, what's directly in front of me? How does my body feel about it? Do I have energy towards this thing, or do I feel nothing? Or do I even feel the tiniest bit of contraction or exhaustion? A lot of times when we feel that, our mind kicks in and we're like, oh, I just need coffee. I'm tired. But really, that's your body saying, I don't want to answer this email right now, or I don't want to do this one task. And
Yes.
as a generator or a manifesting generator, your body is always trying to guide you to be in the right place at the right time, to meet that perfect person or have that inspiration or overhear this conversation that really just gives you your next idea. So it's knowing that your body is, you're meant to trust your body as much as you can.
Mhm.
But a lot of times we're operating from this place of our mind. So for you, your daily practice really is tuning into your body, dropping down into that, and just feeling what it feels like to be in your body. And obviously, you don't have to do that constantly all day, but having a few times throughout the day where you're really checking in and as much as you can with all those small things. So I just wanted to give that example because it is a daily practice, but we do find that people come to human design and are intrigued to learn about human design when they are going through a life transition, whether they hate their job or they're in a relationship and they feel really lost in it, or they don't know who they are and they just want some answers. So it is typically through this transition and wanting more self-awareness. And then it's experimenting with it. And that's what actually reveals to you what you want to do next. So human design is never going to say, oh, you're a manifestor, you have to start a business, or you're a generator, you have to work for someone else, or whatever. It's always going to tell you, okay, this is how your energy works. This is how you know what's right for you. And when you're wanting to figure out what's next, like, for example, I know that I want to quit my job, but I don't know what I want to do or what I want to start or how I'm going to
So many
live.
people were going through this during the pandemic, by the way, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So human design is like, okay, this is what you can do today in this moment as a projector. Set a timer for 2 to 3 hours with the work that you're doing and see if you can stop working after those 3 hours. Stay clocked in if you're working from home, but what's fascinating to you with the work that you're doing, and do that with the rest of the time. Or research something, read a book, go have a conversation with a coworker, and you will find, we've seen this over and over again, people don't care. As a projector, you're so efficient. Nobody cares. So there's these tips, and I just wanted to plant these little seeds because it is an experiment, and then you prove it to yourself, and it really does change everything that you're doing. I mean, we did it for 1 month, and literally everything in our lives changed. And we were working our asses off in jobs that we thought we could never leave because, so we get it, but it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Tell it just, I know you talked about the Saturn return, and then I was like, literally my life fell apart too. Just give the audience a little bit of context what a Saturn return is, just so they can understand. Maybe they're in it right now.
Definitely. And I did want to say that, in the end, human design is astrology. They are literally one and the same. Your astrological zodiac is still in your human design chart. It's just like a deeper level. So what I love about astrology and human design is they support one another, and they're kind of just different lenses. And human design is a lot more like applicable, practical tips. Like you can actually apply this and then start to see things change instead of it being just to reflect upon yourself, which is also super helpful. But so these transits that we experience, the planets changing and then that impacting us is a huge part of human design as well. So every single person experiences a Saturn return, which means Saturn returns to the placement it was the moment that you're born. And that takes about 27 and a half to 30 years. So everyone experiences this huge moment in their life that lasts for actually, it's, the Saturn returning is actually pretty quick, but we experience it for about a year and a half before, a year and a half after. So it's a good chunk of our lives, these 3 years where everything that is not in alignment with our highest truth and our highest good and our highest authenticity will crumble. So this is a time in people's lives where that job that they were working, in our case, that they were convincing themselves it was fine, and they were showing up every day, and they were just, putting that doubt on the back burner, and then suddenly their Saturn return hits and it just becomes not okay. It just comes to the surface and they know that they have to change it or fix it. Otherwise their life feels like chaos. So a lot of people in this time, it's a time that people either get married and have a baby, or they break up, or they move to a new city, or everything that they knew in their lives just completely changes. Or for some people, they're really close to alignment, but they still might experience things like a loved one passing on, a huge life lesson that comes to the surface. So this is not something that we need to be afraid of, our Saturn return. It's actually something that we can be really, really grateful for, because it is this huge support system in helping us adjust and really let go of something that was not right for us and step into this new era of a better alignment, a better fit for us. So whether you realize it or not, this energy is happening to you around this time. And it's so funny because I think that people that are not privy to astrology have just kind of blamed it on moving into their 30s.
Yes.
It's like the time where you get serious and you either break up or you get married or whatever. But it really is this huge planetary energy that is kind of putting this magnifying glass on all of the places in your life that weren't really right.
Yeah. Does it happen I was about to raise my hand again. Does it happen again okay, when?
Yeah,
right
I get every 27 and a half years. So in your late 50s and then in your late 80s, if you're alive then. Yeah, so it happens, these cycles. And also there's these other transits that you can really look for. And they all kind of have different flavors. But the Saturn return, of course, has maybe the biggest impact
PR.
on our lives. Yeah. Yes. So people are talking about it a lot.
That's really great. Well, I'm so fascinated, and you've created a new interest in me. I always love to learn about these types of different ways of utilizing energy to live a fully fulfilling, happy, joyful life. And I always love to learn different tools or different perspectives. And so this is fascinating to me. And I know that everybody that's listening right now or watching this will be as equally, if not more, into this. So where can people go to learn more?
Yeah, so they can find us on our website, daylunalife.com. They also can find us on Instagram at DayLuna. And we also have a podcast that teaches all about human design. It's a free resource. So you can find us there at the DayLuna Human Design Podcast. And if you're just listening to this and you're like, okay, I'm intrigued, but I'm also overwhelmed, where do I even start? We recommend going to Jovian Archive or My Body Graph and entering in your birthday information. Make sure you have this specific time because it is important. Otherwise, your chart can be slightly off. Generate your chart, and then you're going to see this body graph with all these chakras and different numbers. But all we want you to look at first is the written categories on the top. Look for your energy type, and then you'll see if you are a manifestor, a generator, manifestor, generator, projector, or reflector. And if you just dive into that, just that one thing, I promise it will change your life. And, you can then decide if you want to go deeper, because human design even gets into your diet and your environment. It's the way that you're designed to work, the way that your brain works, the way that your mind works, the perspective you're designed to have. So it's very deep, but just learning that first one thing can be so helpful. And we have a podcast episode for each of the types that dives into how understanding your type and understanding how to utilize your energy correctly. Yes.
Oh my, that's so amazing. So all of those, we're going to add that into the show notes, and we'll put all of those episodes in the show notes as well for people. So if you're watching this or listening to this, we'll add those specific links to all of the human design types so that it's easy for you to find. I do want to ask you both the final question, and I feel like this is the first of many conversations that we're going to have, because I'm literally going to dive in. I want to learn so much more. I'm into it. I think this is really fascinating. But I want you to both answer this question individually, and it's with regard to this podcast and why I started. And why I started the podcast. I wanted to create a place where people to go to feel inspired, to have a sense of community, a sense of connection. And the idea is that we are radically loved by God, source, whatever higher power of your understanding, that the universe works for us and not against us. So the question to you both is, how do you feel radically loved?
Wow. I love it so much. And I love that this is your question that you ask everyone. And I have to say that once I really committed to living my dreams and living my dharma and living my purpose, there have been these major, major moments where the perfect thing happened at the perfect time, these major synchronicities where I just felt this undeniable sense of knowing that I am supported, that I am loved, that things are always working out in my favor. And I carry those moments with me in the other moments where something doesn't go the way I thought I wanted it to, where I don't get the opportunity, where I don't get the job or the house or whatever it is. And I really remind myself that that rejection is always redirection and protection. And those moments where I do really feel that undeniable, those tingles in your body, that's like swelling in your heart. I really try to carry that with me every day, because that is when I know that I'm so loved.
I love that. Shayna?
This is like such a big question. It's hard to say. But I think that it's so important to start with yourself, with anything in life. And I feel just so radically loved, by the universe, by everyone in my orbit, when I radically, unapologetically, unconditionally love myself. And it starts in the small places of where I don't love myself. And seeing that, feeling that tightness in my body, in my being, and choosing to say, I don't love that part of myself. Saying that out loud, and then saying, okay, but I'm choosing to. I'm reclaiming that. I'm retaking that back. I'm remaking that word that I was once described a bitch. I'm reclaiming that. Like, I am a bitch. I love that Lizzo reclaimed that. Right. So like little things like that make a huge difference. It's all of the small things that we feel every day. So that radically loved, I feel that in my being by my own choice, and choosing to start with myself, choosing to reclaim myself, choosing to own myself, be my own boss, be my own authority, be my own truth without having to prove anything. That type of love, it's liberation, it's freedom. So yeah, I mean, I could talk with you about that for a million years. I feel like that's such a
I love it. No, I'm into it. I felt it, and I'm so grateful for you both. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I think it's incredible. It's inspiring, and I know that you're helping so many people, and you have so many great things in the works, and the work that you're creating to help people learn more is, again, so inspiring and so great. And I can't wait to share that with our community here. So thank you both so much. Both of you, Shayna, Dana, for being here. Don't forget to check out all of the links in the info button of this podcast or the description below. They are DayLuna, everything, everywhere. Check them out. Thank you both so much for being here. And thank you all so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening to the Radically Loved podcast. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on Facebook at Radically Loved Rosie, on Instagram at Rosie Acosta, and Twitter at Rosie Acosta. By the way, this is original music by DJ Taz Rashid. You can follow DJ Taz on Spotify and check out the best music for yoga and meditation. This has been a Mod Pod Studio production. Check them out at www.modpodstudio.com.